Hello, so let's try and do this algorithm. That's the gravity flip and on CODEWARS, and let's get into it. So we're going to do that in JavaScript and also in Python, but let me choose that of JavaScript first. All right, so this is what it's saying. Bob is bored during his physics lesson, so he built himself a toy box to help pass the time. The box is special because it has the ability to change gravity. So there are some columns of toy cubes in the box arranged in a line, and ith column contains these cubes. At first, the gravity of the box is pulling the cubes downward. When Bob switches the gravity, it begins to pull all the cubes to a certain side of the box, which can be either left or right. Below is an example of what a box of cubes might look like before and after switching gravity. Okay, so in this case, this is the left side, and once you switch over, it's the right side. Yeah. So let's see examples. Given the initial configuration of cubes in the box, find out how many cubes are in each of the n columns after Bob switches the gravity. Okay, in this case, we have right, so I'm switching it to the right, and this is the array we are given, and we are asked to find the configuration after the box has been switched. So in this case, we can see basically the largest number moves to the end of the array, and followed by the closest lower numbers, and then the least number stays at the first. And if it's the left one, the left side, then it will be the other way around. So the largest numbers will stay at the start, and the smaller ones will stay at the end, right? But we can see basically that we just need to sort this, sort it, and this will be ascending, and this looks like it will be descending. So let's try and solve that here. So what we're given is the flip function and d, which I believe is meant to indicate whether the gravity is tilting right or left, and a, which is meant to be the list or the array of numbers, as we have in this case. So how do we solve this? So I think the first thing to do is basically to find out if the gravity tilts towards the left or the right. So in this case, we have d, and is saying if d is tilting towards, like in this case, the right, then we perform whatever we want the function to do. Or else, if d is tilting towards the left, then we know we perform whatever function we need to do. So in this case, we need, like we noticed here, if it's to the right, is ascending, sorted ascending, and if it's to the left, it is sorted descending. So let's just give some kind of condition here, and I will say if this is the case, like that. Let me just take this one out. So if this is the case, if we're to sort it to the right, that means ascending, then we'll just call out the sort method in JavaScript and just say sort now. So the problem with this now, if we set it to this, is that it's not going to sort these numbers very well. Like, it won't sort them out. There is something that needs to go in here, which is like a function to determine whether the numbers will be sorted ascending order or descending order. Let me just show us here. So this is just a JavaScript file that I just created here. So let me just take this and say const. So assuming I have let me just call this the array, and my array is this set of numbers, right? And this for the numbers, right? And I have another one called this time array, and let me just say strings, array string. And this time I want to put some names there, so I'll just say Adi, and sorry, it's trying to fill that in for me. Okay, that's cool. Bola Chike and Damilola. All right, so now the difference here is these are numbers and this definitely are strings, right? So let's try and sort it in ascending order. It's actually telling me that. So to sort this, we'll use the same method. So I'm going to log out in the console the result, and I'm just going to take the array here, and I'm saying this array, I want to sort it just that way, right? And I'm also going to do the same thing, console.log, and string this. Now what we notice here is that it takes the names Adebola, Chike and Damilola, and we can also see that in this case it sorts it out. Let me use okay, that's Coca, so it's fine. So it sorts it out, right? But this is not ideally the best way to sort this ascending. So usually what you want to do is to pass a function inside there, and let me just put an anonymous function, and I'll say AB. So AB now represents the boundaries of what you want to sort, A being at the starting and B being at the ending. So I'm going to do this, and what this simply means is we've created an anonymous function inside this sort method, and it's taking A and B, and it's saying return. Now return using this understanding or this concept that A minus B. So that means, what this means is just basically ascending. That means the greater portions will be at the end, and the lesser portions will be at the right. So it's saying from A to B, that means from the lowest to the highest, right? But what if we want to do it the other way around? Maybe we want to sort it descending. So I will just do this here, B to A, right? Oops, sorry, B to A. So we can see now it's sorted descending. So this is a better way of sorting numbers in JavaScript, right? Even though it looks like it will work with just putting that sort, but this is the best way. So let's come back here, and we want to sort that out. So I'm going to sort, so I'm going to put the anonymous function again. So it means that if it's to the right, return in ascending order. That's all. Then we can go on here to say else. So I'll just do the same thing basically here. So a sort, and this the other way around, this sending order, like we explained. So if D is right, do it in ascending order, as ascending. Else, we would have said else if D is equals to L, then descend, but there's no need for that because we know that it's just right and left that will be decided on. So descending, and remember we're meant to return this because it's in a function, return that. So I guess this basically is meant to work. Let's see that test. All right, test pass, and let's attempt. That's testing the other one. So all right, so that was we were able to solve that. So is there any way else to refactor this before I go into Python? instead of using this if else, we can use the ternary operator in JavaScript, such that we just remove this if here, and basically you just put a comma. So that's saying if this is the case, then I want you to do all this, right? So the comma already specifies a return, so you just do that. And it's saying now else. So in place of else, we put a colon that way. So else, and remember we don't need the return. Let me just remove all that. Yeah. So take this one off, and we don't actually even need this because basically it's just a single line. So it's quite long, but anyway, you get the point. It's more like we're saying if this is the case. So I don't think I even need that in brackets. So if this is the case, then I want you to sort this ascending, right? Else I want you to sort this descending if it's left. So let's test again. Passed. Attempt. Awesome. Pass. So this still works, right? So is there still a better way to refactor this? Let's see, because I'm seeing the same thing applied here and here. So what if we actually put these conditions, like comparing these things, right, into the sort itself? So I think what we'll do is we'll take this sort, right? Let me just remove this one. So it's more like I'm going to sort, right, and I'm going to compare D to R here. So if this is the case, then what are you going to return? So it's going to end up returning, so this else, let me just take all that out. Hopefully we get what is going on here, but I think this is it. What I did here, I said this is the list, the array, so I'm sorting it, and I'm saying normally you just put this, right, put the anonymous function like we did before, and instead what we would have done was to just pass return. That's would have just returned this one, that's to as in ascending, but now it's comparing this D to R. So it's saying if this is the case, then this is what you return, else is else, so it's going to be descending. Yeah, so I hope this one, I think this one should work. Oh, fine, good. Let's attempt, and good. So that's a better way to refactor that. So I think JavaScript we're done, and saying submit. Let me submit that. Fine, so let's try again, and this time let's go to Python. Nice. So Python should be a bit easier for us because Python has so many functions and so many things you can do to make life so easy for us. So now it's the same thing. We have D, which is either right or left, and we have A, which is the list or the array. So let's do something similar to what we did in JavaScript, where we used a ternary operator, but this time Python is a bit different because it uses an if else in ternary. So what we'll do here is we'll say the list, right? So what we want to do is say we are going to sort the A. So this is actually what I'm going to return at the end of the day, but the problem here is that when you are sorting with Python, you can't assign it to a variable. That's the issue now. So you sort it first, then you call that array which you have changed. The only way you can assign it to a variable is if you use something called sorted. So something is different. So instead you say sorted like this, then the array itself, right? Then you can now determine if reverse is true. Yeah, in this case we would do that inside here. So in this case, so what we want is we're going to sort this ascending. That's basically what by default is ascending. So if what's the condition that D, right, is now Python only has 2 equal signs, not 3 like JavaScript. So if D is R, right, else if this is R is going to sort it ascending, else is going to sort that with descending. So how do we do that? So remember in JavaScript all we needed to do was just to change the function where b minus a instead of a minus b, but in Python you actually have to set the reverse key here. So it's saying reverse, right, and you'll set it to true. So that's just what you would do. So this is meant to now make it descending instead of ascending. So we'll now then return the list that is A right now. So let's see if this works. Test. Okay, pass, good. Attempt, fantastic, good. So that one works, but is there any way we can I think this is fine. We don't need to refactor this, but let me try the sorted method and see if that will work. So let me just clean that out. So sorted, so you can assign like I said, you can assign, so you can say something like new, then array, something like this is sorted. So naming convention, normally if it's JavaScript we just use this, but Python usually is underscore, usually use. So sorted now would now be the sorted, the list we want to sort, that is A. Then we can now determine if this would be reversed. But look at where the issue is now. The issue now is that we have a condition. So it's as good as also putting the ternary and say if, right, D is the same, is R, right, is right, else what you are going to have is sorted like this A, then you now put the reverse in there. So you say reverse and you put that as false, and Python capital letter F, false. So I think this should work. Then you now return the new array like this, right? Let's test that. Now there's a problem. It says this should equal 5543. okay. Oh, so look at the problem we had here was that I put false instead of true here, right? So let's test again. So now it works. Attempt. So now it's still working. So let me, instead of like assigning a variable and now returning it here, calling it here to return, you can just say return like directly in there. So we're now returning this now. I'm seeing we can also, there are two sorted here, so I can refactor this such that I put these conditions inside here like I did before initially. So let me see. This is sorted, right? But if I'm to reverse it, I'll put something like reverse true, right? Or reverse false, like this, right? but I can put the condition there so that it determines the value for me. So what I mean is, for example, you say it's true, so it's going to reverse will be false actually if D is R, because we don't want to reverse it, right? If D is R, right, else it will be true, right? Let me remove this other ones like that, right? And let's test again and see if that works. So it's working, attempt, and it's working. So basically it's similar to what we just did before. The only thing is that we moved in the condition, the comparison, into the reverse method itself, the reverse key, right? So this is equals to this will be true, else it will be false. Okay, cool. So let me just take this out and take this one out, and let's see. So reverse, if this is this, it will be true, which is not the case. So we want this L, right, left, right? So if it's L, that means if D is L, left, and this case is D, since this is left, this case will be true, and it will now reverse true. So let's test that. Good. So basically this is just refactoring we just did here, so that works. So I'm going to submit that. So that's it. Basically you can go and test it yourself. Gravity flip, I'll leave the link to the test down under this video. So that's all. Thank you.